Sup, Bills Mafia. So that was an interesting game, but I have a couple of immediate thoughts afterwards. Um, Defensively, again, another really good defensive performance. Dare I say, great. They got after it today. Tua, I don't know. See, I'm watching the game. I watched the game at a restaurant where the sound isn't very great from coming from the television, so I didn't know exactly what the issue is going to be with Tua, but it looked like it was his hip again. So there's no telling what's going to happen with him. But they got after Jacoby Brissett, who was thought to possibly be a starter in this league at one time, but obviously he's not. They averaged when he after he came in the game, they averaged 4 yards an attempt. That's pathetic by NFL standards. 4 yards an attempt is never going to win you any games. So if Tua can't come back, I don't know what they're going to do at quarterback, which, I don't really care, honestly. Because we're all about the Bills here, so that's what that is. In terms of the Bills' performance defensively, again, they got after it. The hitting, the pressure on the quarterback, the turnover creation. I am a little worried, though, offensively. I am a little worried because for the second week in a row, Josh Allen did not look sharp. The only time he really looked sharp was in that first drive of the second half. I don't know. He's short. Last week he was overthrowing receivers. This week he was underthrowing receivers. Even that bomb to Stephon Diggs in the fourth quarter was underthrown. If he had thrown it where Diggs was running, that would have been a touchdown. He had beaten his man. Sometimes the results can fool you, but the results are not going to don't fool me right now. The Bills have an issue with Josh Allen. I really hope this is not a regression, because one game can be considered, an aberration. 2 games, meh. 3 games is a trend. You got another week coming up where you're facing a tough defense in the Washington football team. Those guys get after it. And if Josh Allen is off again, we got a problem. I'm not off the Josh Allen bandwagon by any means. Any quarterback can have a bad couple of games, but there are concerns. You have to be concerned when your franchise quarterback that you just paid a boatload of money to comes out in a season where the expectations are Super Bowl or bust, and he can't hit the broadside of a barn. That's a problem. Williams at right tackle is an issue. Penalties again. Getting beat again. He is an issue. He's becoming a liability. The run game today was strong. Zach Moss is man, you got it. He's, for a small guy, he's running like Derrick Henry in the hole. Just that second touchdown run. The first one, pop, bounced right off a guy. The second one, pop, bounced right off a guy. You could hear, and I said I was in a restaurant where the sound was bad. I heard the pop. That's how hard it was. He just bounced off the guy into the end zone. Devin Singletary had a great game. But again, somebody knocked the ball out of his hand, knocked it out of bounds, so it wasn't considered a fumble. But we got a problem with Devin Singletary holding on to the ball. But you know what? These are games where we used to lose these games. The 2 turnovers, the inability to be on target at quarterback, we would lose these games. We would wind up scoring 17 points and giving up 20. This year, I mean, we almost won last week, except for the blocked punt. If it weren't for the blocked punt, we would have won last week. Not that was the only play, but that's the whole point. I mean, but again, the funny thing was, and we were talking about this watching the game, that muffed punt, which to me, and I don't know what the rules analysis guy said, Mike Pereira, but I'm looking at that muffed punt by Miami, and I'm going, oh, no, that's Miami's ball. He had the ball, and then his arm hit the ground, then the ball came out, Miami ball. No, Buffalo gets that call. Normally, we would not get that call. That's not a call that we normally get, right? Like, normally, in past years, those are the calls that go against us, But this time, we got the call. So, things are looking up for the Bills, overall. But I would say we've got to be careful. We've got to figure out a way to get this offense on track. I know 35 points, but no. It was not it was a 35-point performance that was sparked by the defense. So yeah, there's that. But as always, go Bills.